So here we are for round 3 of the Manufacturer Series at Red Bull Ring. I qualified first. Pretty pumped with that. I always like Red Bull Ring. It wasn't a bad time. I think I was like 7 or 8 tenths of a second faster than the second guy. So I was pretty pumped and slightly nervous about not fucking up, which I generally do. So off we go into the first corner. It's good to see the Beamer in the 1-2, but straight away the Beamer behind me took his corner way too wide, Gizzer, and held up the rest of the pack for me. So I got to take off into the lead early. By this point of the race, it's just Big Harry Sr. and I going for it, and we both decide to hit the pits at the same time. And I opt to put some fuel in the car and throw on the hard tyres for 3 laps. By this point, I've done 7 laps. The controller guy tries to come up on the inside here, and I give him the space to let him through. There was no point fighting it. I was on the out lap with the hard tyres, and I didn't want to be a dick. So I'm right onto his tail now. And he goes well wide, and it gives me the chance on the inside, and I nail it. Woot woot. Okay, so heading back out after my next pit stop, and I've now put on the medium tyres on lap 10. I'm going to run 7 laps with enough fuel to get me to the end of the race. Put me back into 4th position. And it's time to now try and catch up with the rest of the crew at the front. So now the car that was in 2nd place has gone into the pits, and it's thrown me up into 2nd, with only Big Harry up ahead of me. He actually had a fair gap, so I planned to just happily sit in 2nd and just try and finish the race that way. So at this point I thought that Big Harry had just got a really good run on and was well ahead of me, but it turns out that he still had 1 more pit to go. I think he was saving his hard tyres till last. I didn't think afterwards to ask him, but boom, 1st place, here we go. And there we go, 1st place for the first race of the night. I was pretty pumped with that little effort, and it also put me back up to a B ranking, so it was a good win. Pretty stoked. I really love Red Bull Ring, so let's go to... Alright, so race 2 came along, and I qualied 2nd. I wasn't really expecting that, as there was a pretty stacked field of a lot of B-rated drivers and a few sprinkling of S-rated drivers, so I was pretty stoked. But Damo292 took pole, was actually 1.5 seconds faster than me, so I knew keeping up with him was going to be a challenge. Oh no, I'm just not that quick, and that Audi corner's like a fucking beast. So anyway, off we go. This race was a bit more entertaining than the last one, so this video might be a little long. But hey, whatever. So off into the 1st corner. It's good once you start getting back up to these higher rated races where everyone drives a bit cleaner. There's less dick moves. Although there was a few dick moves in this race. Maybe a couple from me, I can't remember. We'll see. So behind me is Lotus Evora. I've never raced that guy before, so it was interesting when you race someone you don't really know. After you race with so many regulars, you sort of know their racing style and what sort of moves they're going to pull. So he was a wild card for me this race, and he was getting pretty cheeky in that Volkswagen. He's just sitting right on my tail there and trying to distract me, but meh, I generally don't look in the rear vision mirror if I don't have to. So heading into this fast straightaway, that Audi comes out of that corner way faster than my Beamer does. It's either that or I'm just shit at cornering, which is probably it, the latter. So down to this tight right-hander, and Lotus goes on the inside of me. I let him through. I knew he was going to lunge for it regardless. and I just behave myself. One thing, like I said in the last video, I'm trying to calm down a bit in the opening stages of these longer races. It's a long race. Stick to your strategy, and the places will come to you. Don't have to be aggressive so much. So I went on the inside corner there, and he decided to lunge in a little, and I gave him a little love tap, but it's all good. I got the place back. But he goes back up on the inside, and around this long corner, he's holding the inside line. Tries to push me out wide, but I stay on the rumble strips. And then we get in. He's a cheeky boy. He's a cheeky boy. I'll give him that in his little Volkswagen. But it's nice close racing, and I don't mind a bit of rubbing and knocking around as long as it's not too much, you know. Anyone who races in this game knows when someone's being a total twat burger. Oh, Damo and Lotus go in at the same time, but they get through nice and clean. And I pull up beside the Volkswagen because they were a little late accelerating out of it. We have a little rub. Dadov serves his penalty, which drops him back away from our little pack again. I stay on the inside line this time of Lotus. And while he gets stuck behind Damo, it gives me the chance to slide on the inside. And boom. Keep that inside line. And we're fighting for the next corner. This is what I love in Gran Turismo. Good, fun, clean battling. So I slide back into third position, but again, I come out of that corner just a little bit quicker. But again, just being patient. It's still early in the race. It's the one thing I've learned about these longer races. Just be patient. T. Kuma, he's back there being a silent achiever, catching up on Dadov. Give the Volkswagen just a little nudgy nudge just to say, hey mate, come on, here I am. Dadov pulls in behind us, T. Kuma pulls in a few seconds more. And pushes it into a 5-car battle. Dadov and I into the right-hander. He gets me on the inside, I let him through. T. Kuma's right on my tail. Into the straightaway. I come out of that and hit the outside rumble strips there a bit. Just didn't quite get where I wanted to be. So I stay wide on that corner because I wasn't too sure what Dadov was going to do. He goes into the pits. So does T. Kuma. So 3 of the 5 battling for the top positions have stayed out for another lap. But really, really enjoying this race at this point. Having a lot of fun. I think there was a big grin on my face the whole time, just knowing there's a clean battle. So Lotus and I head into the pits. And I'm going to go for the same strategy as race 1. 7 laps with softs, 3 hards, and then on the 10th lap come in and then do the remainder of the race on the mediums. And also putting in a bit of fuel. So heading out of the pits, Lotus obviously not fueling up. And we take off into the speed section in 6th position. Not too bad, I must say, for the first pit stop. And I go a little wide there. Whoops! Those bloody hard tyres. You forget after racing softs for like 6 or 7 laps, and then you get on those hard tyres, and you think, oh, I think I've got the braking zone worked out. No, bah! Send yourself into the red and whites. So T. Kuma's caught back up to me now, and he's on my tail. Those fucking hard tyres, I'm so bad on them on short stints. If it's a whole race on hards, I sort of find my rhythm on them, but, you know. Oh, and it looks like, is that Lotus? Yeah, Lotus had a little whoopsie over there. That's good for me. And he's picked himself up a 1-second penalty. Fuck, you get so focused on racing when you're sitting in the cockpit view and you don't notice the things that go on in front of you. So anyway, I'm off into the pits now for my final pit stop. I have enough fuel to get me through the race, and it's time to throw on the medium compound for the last 7 laps. I've been pretty happy with this strategy so far. I think where a lot of crew have been losing their races is by leaving hards to last, dropping in and putting in just 2 laps on the hards. But I think, to me, I think that's the wrong idea. You've got the space and you want a faster time towards the end, and you really just want to put your foot down and try and gain those places. So I've dropped back into 8th on, I think it's lap 10 or 11. But I think this is the right choice, as now I've got the rest of the race now just to drive. Oh, I'll go well wide there again. Just going full send. Fucking put a postage stamp on it and I get myself a little penaltoire for that indiscretion. Oh well. Yeah, but I feel really confident on medium tyres on this car, so I tuck onto the inside line there and serve my penalty. Let Funky Little Racer through and tuck back in behind him into the next lot of corners. So I've slugged back into 9th place, and at this point I was thinking, oh man, being back having my B class level back again is, yeah, going to be challenging, which is good because it's what I love. I love challenge, and you know, and I want to practice more just doing manufacturer races because I don't have a lot of time to practice. So if I just focus on the manufacturer series, and hopefully I can keep my top 10s rolling in. I've been really stoked in the first 3 rounds of this season. I've podiumed, so yeah, pretty stoked with that effort. And I feel like I'm starting to get my groove back. How Stella got his groove back, if my name was Stella. The thing I've noticed with Lotus is that he'll shove his car in wherever there's an opening, you know, but he's still quite a clean racer considering all that, and I get him. Suck a dick. Eli goes in for his, I think maybe his 3rd pit stop, and puts me up into 5th place, up behind Funky Little Racer and Lotus behind me. Oh no, Lotus went in as well, so it's T. Kuma. My mistake. Funky goes in, puts me up in the 3rd position. See us later in the race now, they're all starting to pit in. And it's always hard to judge who has finished all their pit stops. But I found by the 2nd race, a lot of racers were doing the hard stint last. And there we go. A nice, neat little 3rd place in my first race back as a B-rated driver for about the 11th time. But pretty stoked with that, and I think it was quite a clean race and a pretty fun race. So all in all, a great night of racing, and I'm really stoked with the end of it. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment, 'cause I'm always up for a chat. And let's see you at the next race. See you later.